Hey everyone, and welcome back to another linguistic breakdown, this time for chapter 1001. Lots of action this week, but we still have plenty of things to talk about, so let's get started. Now, this chapter is one that is mostly focused on fighting, so it's not like there's much in terms of dialogue or deep cultural references, but because it is a fighting chapter, there's plenty of attacks being used here that, as to be expected from Oda, hide a lot of puns and etymological secrets. So, in this video, we'll mostly focus on breaking down every attack used, and as a bonus, I'll also throw in attacks we've already seen before in the past, in case you don't know what they actually mean. So, first of all, we have Kaido's iconic Raime Hakke, also known as the Thunder Bagua. Raime means thunderclap, a reference to how the attack is as fast and devastating as a lightning bolt. The real danger of this attack is not so much the fact that it's powerful and strong, but also the fact that it's incredibly fast, with Luffy not even being able to evade it fully in this chapter due to how fast it is, just like a bolt of lightning. In fact, while Luffy does claim he used Future Sight to dodge it, we can see it for ourselves, because we can see that Oda drew the sound effect for Future Sight in this page, being the iconic sound effect that is always heard with Future Sight. On the other hand, Hakke means 8 trigrams, also known as the Bagua, the 8 symbols of reality in Taoist belief. Next, Big Mom's attack, Heavenly Fire, means exactly what it means, heavenly fire, with a kanji reading being the Japanese words for exactly just that. The cool thing, however, is how this is a reference to the Greek myth of Prometheus, with Prometheus being a figure in Greek mythology who stole the gift of fire from heaven, or Olympus, from the hands of Zeus, to give it to mankind. So, in the same way that fire descended from heaven in the myth of Prometheus, a giant fireball descends on Big Mom's enemies. Zoro counters this attack with a Kitsune Biryu Homurasaki. Kitsune Biryu simply translates to foxfire style, with foxfire being a mythological phenomenon in Japanese folklore said to be caused by mischievous foxes. Homurasaki also quite simply translates to flame rend, as in tearing a flame into 2 parts. As a small note, in this scene, Law asks Luffy not to make him look like his subordinate and order him around. This is a potential callback to the first time these three met. To this, Kid comments that he doesn't care who is under who. The term he uses here is kakushita, which means to be of lower rank to someone else, to be below others. So because of this, Luffy says that the first to react to the attack is the one of lower rank, as a response to the comment that Kid made before, since the term refers to one who is below others, like a subordinate, which was the thing that Law was talking about. And as Luffy, Law, and Kid bicker, Big Mom launches Heavenly Bonbon. Now, the heavenly part is the same as in Heavenly Fire, very straightforward, but this attack is called Bonbon. This is a reference to a type of confectionery made of small chocolate spheres, in the same shape as the fireballs Prometheus is shooting, fitting the theme of sweets and food that Big Mom is themed around. Bonbon is also the general word for sweets in French, though I think in this case Big Mom is referring to the specific spherical chocolates of the same name given the fireball shape. Oh, and did you notice this cool detail? Big Mom firing these 3 fireballs on the Warriors trio looks exactly like the 3 cannonballs that were shot at them when they first met at Sabaody and started fighting the Marines. Moving on, Zoro uses the same attack he used against Killer to attack Kaido, being Santoryu, or 3-sword style, Rengoku Onigiri. Rengoku means purgatory, while Onigiri means Onikatter. However, this is meant to be a pun on the food onigiri, since it was the same food that Rika gave to Zoro back in the Shellstone arc, and Zoro used that very same attack to defeat Morgan. This attack couldn't be any more fitting here, since Kaido is someone who does look like a real Oni who lives on Onigashima, the island of Oni. Killer's new attack is called Zanshu Claw, or Decapitation Claws, with the kanji for claw quite simply featuring the Japanese word for claw. This is because Killer's scythes look like giant claws. Similarly, Kid gets a new attack called Punk Rotten, Punk Vise. This attack is part of the Punk Rotten series of attacks that Kid uses, a reference to the punk style, which Kid is themed around so much, and the famous punk artist John Rotten, with the kanji part of Punk Raden reading as Magnetic Ability Man. Similarly, a few chapters ago, Kid used an attack called Punk Gibson against Apu, which was a reference to the Gibson guitars. The kanji reading for Punk Gibson was magnetic strings, as in string instruments. The whole joke about all these attacks is that Kid fights his enemies with punk name attacks and, quite literally, heavy metal. Anyways, this chapter's attack, Punk Vise, is likely referring to the famous punk band Vice Squad. The kanji, however, reads as vise, as in the tool used to crush or hold things. Vice and vice are written with different letters in English, C and S, but in Japanese they are written the same in katakana, making this a pun with double meaning, referring to the band and to the tool. Oh, and of course, in case you didn't know, Gomu Gomu no Kongan has the kanji reading of Monkey King Gun, an obvious reference to King Kong, and obviously Luffy's name, Monkey D. Luffy, and him wanting to become the Pirate King, and also using the same kanji as Gomu Gomu no Pistol, the kanji for gun, since it is the Gear 4th variation of Gomu Gomu no Pistol. In that final spread, where Kaido transforms into a dragon and we get this big face-off between the worst generation and the Yonko, Big Mom also transforms Napoleon into his Cognac form. We saw this form back at Whole Cake Island, where Napoleon becomes more menacing looking and is covered in fire. The name Cognac is a reference to a type of brandy or liqueur called Cognac, but the reference actually goes deeper than that, because a Napoleon Cognac refers to a grade of cognac for any brew that has been aged for a very long time, usually around at least a decade. It's a rather expensive type of alcohol that is usually drank by the rich. The name is said to originate from the fact that Napoleon was claimed to love this type of aged cognac, though the validity of this myth is often questioned. This makes sense as Big Mom's homie is named after Napoleon, the military leader, since he was often depicted with a bicorn hat similar to the one Big Mom wears. The kanji for the attack, on the other hand, reads as Emperor's Blade, emphasizing Big Mom's position as a Yonko. In his final line, Kaido mentions that whoever wins this battle will make a big step towards becoming the Pirate King. The thing is, though, that while he does before that state confidently that they will take everything from the worst generation, in his final statement Kaido is not specifying who will take that big step, meaning that, for once, he is actually acknowledging the possibility that he might lose. This goes to show that while he is still confident that he will win, he is starting to respect Luffy just a little bit, acknowledging that he is someone who is capable of attacking him, and even someone with the potential to become Pirate King. Those are all the references in the attacks from this chapter. Where do you think things will go from here? Let me know and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
伝説の男たちの懸賞金額